Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dance Teacher Pep Talk. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so glad you are here. This is a space for dance teachers and anyone interested in teaching dance who is looking for motivation and fresh ideas. As teachers, we spend our days motivating and giving pep talks to our students, and now this podcast is a pep talk just for you. We hope that it helps to ignite new ideas and even work through some deep dance related thoughts before you head into the studio. Thank you for your support, and now let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody, and happy October. When this episode comes out, it will be October. And so I am very excited for today's episode. I feel like it is going to be a really beautiful one, something that is going to help us to really prepare us for this month ahead and also just to have some really great reminders of our time in our lives, not just as dance teachers, but as artists and as people too. At this point, many of you are probably a month or so into your dance season, depending on when your year starts. Maybe you're a little bit more into your season. But at this time, sometimes we may have gotten our routine down, and then we start to get to a point with our routine down that sometimes it becomes a little repetitive. And, sometimes you might want to add some changes or some different ideas. And it's not just for us, but also for our students, because yes, repetition is important and getting through our skills on all of that is important. But sometimes it's about teaching or delivering the material in a new way. And sometimes that comes even just with the life that we're bringing into our class and the outlook and the ideas that we have. So, coming up in the month of October, I hope that the episodes here on Dance Teacher Pep Talk will help you to find ways to bring new inspiring content and ideas, and even just a new inspired mindset for yourself as you head into this month. So, just really quickly looking ahead at this month, we've got some great topics coming up. On Thursday, I'm going to share an exercise that my students absolutely love and get so excited over. So definitely check back in on Thursday for that. Other topics that we're going to talk about this month include revamping your warm ups or new ideas to change up your current material. I'll also have some fall dance ideas and maybe some extra Halloween special ideas as well. And we are also going to have our first interview episode available this month. So I'm so excited for that. There are also so many other fun ideas and different deep thoughts that we're going to head into during this month of October. I am going to talk a little bit about student choreography and its value in one of our episodes. And just, yeah, overall, just a lot of fun ahead. So I'm very excited for that. So to make sure that you're up to date with all of the current Dance Teacher Pep Talk episodes, you can follow us on the platform that you listen to podcasts, and that way you won't miss anything. All right, so this is our welcome October episode. And as I mentioned, I feel this is going to be a beautiful one. And the reason being is here where we are recording, it is fall now. And if you're listening to this in the Southern Hemisphere, I do realize that you are going into your spring, whereas we are going into fall. And for me, fall is such a beautiful time of year. I don't ever think growing up that if you asked me what my favorite season was, I don't think I ever would have said fall. Definitely probably would have been summer. But growing up, I have such an appreciation now for what each season brings. And I'm a New England girl, so I just get to experience every season in its full feels. We have winter, we've got snow, we've got spring, summer, we got it all, and it's nice. For a period of my life, I did live in Florida. I started off going to school in Florida, and I do love Florida, but there was something that for me, for my body, felt really off when I was living there. And I don't know if it's because I've been in New England my whole life, and then all of a sudden my body was expecting fall. Like I was expecting to feel something different, and it just never came. It just was kind of an extended summer, and I knew that that was going to happen. I mean, I went to Florida with the full intention that I was getting away from New England winters, and it was really surprising to me that I was actually like craving it. Like I wanted to feel the change in season. I wanted to feel the shift that my body and mind was so expecting to feel. And now being back in New England, it's just I have so much more appreciation for it than I've ever had. And, maybe ask me in the winter after like a few snowstorms or something like that. But I mean, I know there gets to be a point of any season that we're done with it and we're ready for the next. But I feel like that's also kind of like the point is okay, we are ready for the first snowfall and then it comes. And then by the end of that winter, you are so done with it. And then the flowers start to bloom and spring is here. So I think just having an appreciation for the seasons and the seasons of life that we're in is so important for our well-being because we do our day to day the same every day regardless of what season it is most of the time. I mean, if we're in our dance year, we get up, we get ready for the day, we do our thing, we go into the studio, we come home, we sleep. And that is going to stay the same for all of our weeks ahead. But what makes it different is the season that we're in. And so to make our days more special or to make our days feel more connected, just giving that appreciation and gratitude for the season that we are living in is just such a beautiful thing, I feel. This summer, I also had this other idea, and I was on a vacation. And yes, when you're on vacation, you're usually places other than your home. So you're somewhere else traveling. And it's like there's something about vacation that just feels so special. It feels so unique that you have all this time, you have all this space. It almost feels like exotic in ways like, ooh, there's a different scenery, there's beautiful sights, there's all these things. And I kept thinking about it, and I made myself realize that there is so much beauty in the sights and scenes that are around me every day, even when I'm home. So I started trying to make it a goal to make it feel or bring those vacation vibes to my day to day. So, what made it special being there? Oh, walking and nature and hearing the different bird sounds or whatnot in the area I was. Well, I can do that at home too. Having a special drink or something that made me feel unique to the experience that I was in. Again, I could do that at home as well. And the only difference, I mean, the major difference with it, I guess, is with vacation, you have endless time to yourself and you're not really working. But then when you're back at home or back on your regular schedule, you're remembering not only your work stuff to do, but the housework and this and that. So I understand, like, yeah, that is a huge different part. But how can we bring those vacation feelings back into our day to make it special? Even if it is just taking a little bit of time for ourselves where we are not working or we're not focusing on the housework and we really are just focusing on taking care of ourselves. So now, going into fall, the season of fall or autumn is typically represents the harvest time. And the harvest happens after all of the labors that have gone into your spring and summer season, and now you are harvesting the crop. And for us, that doesn't necessarily play into much as dance teachers. I mean, we've just started our year. We're not looking to like pull the crop together and get us on stage for recital. It's a little bit different. We've just started off. So, how can we live in this season and still go on the vibes and feelings that our human nature are sort of going off of? So, when we're harvesting, what we're doing is we're preparing for the rest and cold winter ahead. And again, it's not like we have a resting period as dance teachers during winter, but let's look at this in the way that we take care of ourselves. So, as dance teachers, right now we are in our classes, we are working hard, we have gotten our routine down, things are starting to settle into a good pace. And so, we really take this time then to go inward and to see what is it that is working? What worked in this month for us? What is not working for us in this month? How do we shift and change that? Are there parts of our warm ups that seem ineffective? Are there parts of our warm ups that seem really successful? These are things that now at this time of year we can begin to ask so that our bodies can start to really sink into the work in the best way possible and get the best benefit from it. If I were to say to you, what do you love about fall, or what do you think of when you hear the word fall? I feel like a lot of us think about coziness, fireplace, leaves changing colors, that kind of thing. And a lot of those words to me sound very warm. And when things are warm, things just really seem to work in flow. It isn't cold or icy or rigid, it's moving in flow. So now at this point in our dance year, like I said, we've got a good foundation started in that month of September, and now we're flowing to see where it goes. And living in all that is fall, I mean, really living it up, I don't think there's anything wrong with it because I think it can add so much excitement and specialness to our day. The past like 5 years or so, I feel that I've really made it a point to live and be really within the season that is happening. And so I have come up with a list of things that may help us in our October ahead. If you are really either loving fall and just want to have more ideas for fall, or if you don't like fall, these are things that I recommend because I think they are going to bring so much more special quality to your days. And keep in mind too, with your dance class, even though you may be teaching children different ages here and there, who you are teaching are humans and humans that live in the same environment as you. And I feel that there is so much to be said about us all wanting and craving the same thing during different seasons. And so reminding yourself that you may feel this excitement and you may feel this season change, but like so do your dancers. And so bringing in fun ways to incorporate the seasons and the changes can be so helpful. Something that I love for myself during the season of fall is there is something about just a really good playlist and a nice coffee or a cup of tea and the fireside that just is just such a nice moment. And if you have a special playlist in mind for yourself, I would say listen to that. Or if you have Spotify, they have so much incredible curated fall and autumn playlists. Like there are so many, and I could pick and choose one each day to find, and even other playlists that others have put together that you can find in your searches. And there's something so special about that to have music going that isn't just the music that you're listening for your dance classes, because I've actually found a lot of music for my classes in that way. So, if you're looking to have sort of like a quiet moment for yourself with some music or just a self moment, maybe try giving some new fall playlists a listen and see what happens with that. You can also create fall inspired playlists for your classes. I usually, when I map out October, I usually tend to do my typical playlist the first couple weeks, but then mid month to the end, I usually use special playlists that have fall songs, Halloween songs, songs that just have a spookier vibe, or different things like that. And I do tend to do exercises that are geared around that as well. So I'm going to be in the month of October announcing some of those special exercises that I do that are fall related or Halloween related. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Other things that I feel we can do is, the word cozy always comes up to me, like when I'm thinking about fall, cozy and warm. And there is something about a really comfortable outfit or something that is really comfortable heading into the studio. It's like when I feel my best in something, I show up as my best. So, thinking about how you're preparing yourself as you head into the studio. Are you going to be warm enough in what you're wearing tonight for your night ahead or whatnot? And does it make you feel good? Is it like a warm hug, but also, one that you can move in and everything like that? But that is always something for me that just helps me to feel good as I'm heading into the studio and through my night. Other things that are really helpful at this time is it's such a great time of year for soups and crock pot meals and like tray bakes that you can make in your oven and things like that, because we know that things are busy. We've got our big packed dance schedules. We are working really hard in everything that we're doing. And so maybe meal prepping or setting aside some ideas for the week ahead can help you. And for me, things that help me with that is making a big soup on Sunday or a stew that I know is going to last a couple of meals, and then maybe throwing in a crock pot meal somewhere in there that week, or a tray bake where you're taking your proteins and your veggies or whatnot and baking it in the oven. So like these are different, just different ideas of like how can you better prepare yourself so that you are also giving yourself time back, because if you are coming home and having dinner after a long night of teaching, the last thing you're going to want to do at 10 o'clock is to grab something out of the cabinet and just snack on it before bed. So it would be like really helpful if you already had that prepared. Same thing if you are able to eat your dinner at the studio, just having something easy to pack and go with you. It's going to take a lot of extra time off your plate during the day. So, having this is only going to help you to get time back for yourself. And there are so many amazing recipes out there. You could look on Pinterest and things like that. But just preparing yourselves for success can even just look at how you are preparing your meals for the week ahead. By trying to find the space and specialness in every day, something that always comes to my mind is how are we engaging all of our senses? It's this is our lives. So as our day is unfolding, we want to make sure that we are connecting to ourselves and not just giving all of our energy out to others. And so one way you can do this is check in with your senses. So what is it that you're seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and hearing? And we already went through some of those. Like we are listening to our fall music, we are tasting the fall vibes. And, if you want to add in some apples or pumpkin flavors or spices or whatnot, there is so much available this season. We are feeling cozy and warm by the things that we're choosing to wear and to feel good in. And now looking at sights and smells. So, getting into this, as I mentioned before, have this whole idea of walking while being on vacation as this like incredible thing. But yet, walking at any time in nature is such an incredible thing. So, sites that you could incorporate in your day to day is, have you been outside today? Have you looked out your window today? Have you walked a little bit, even if it's just a short walk? Things like that can just bring you into the season even more and help you to see and appreciate all that is around you and all that is happening and changing, because fall, at least here in New England, is so beautiful. The leaves change, and like honestly, as soon as they change, it's pretty soon that they're falling. So if we don't even catch it before they fall, we'll miss out on that chance. So taking the time, even if it's a drive or anything like that, where you're getting out and you're experiencing the changes around you, can also help you to really experience the specialness of the season. And for smells, I mean, just like the food cooking in your house, if there are special scents that you like as well that remind you of fall, or just recognizing that, that can be such an added special factor to your day. This year, I really made it such a goal for myself to take time every day to appreciate all that I have and all that I am and all that I am able of doing. And it is my hope that through this podcast, we can find ways to do that too. And so today's episode maybe had a couple of different dance ideas, but it was more about the lives that we have as dance teachers outside of the dance classroom and how we can bring the energy, the love, the joy of whatever season it is that we're experiencing into our days more so that we can feel like we're living more fully. And this is so important also to remind our students of, because right now during this time, they are so busy. Like, I know I've said this before, but it just blows my mind how busy some of these dancers are. Let's take a second to think about their day. So, many of them are waking up when it's still dark outside. They get ready for school, they head to school, they have a whole day inside. Elementary age students probably still get recess, which is great. So they get to go outside, they get some fresh air. But how often do our middle school and high school students get to head outside and experience that fresh air? I know for me growing up, if you had gym in the fall, you did get to go outside to, run the mile or whatnot, or to do some activities outside. But that is a day with not a ton of fresh air. Okay, so then they get in the car or the bus and they head home, maybe for a little bit. Maybe they're doing homework, having a snack, and then they are heading right to the studio. Or maybe some of them even go right from school to the studio. And once they're at the studio, they're inside again. And they are working so hard in their classes after a day of working so hard in school. And then after leaving the dance studio, they're heading home once again in the dark to now do homework, or maybe they got their homework done at the studio or before they went into dance. But if we think about that day, they don't really get to experience so much of it. And so, taking the time for ourselves to get that experience in, let's try to bring it into the classroom and share it with them. Share the specialness of the season with different activities that we do or different playlists that we play, because it's going to help these dancers to have the feel of what's going on. I remember right around the time that the time changed a couple years ago, I was teaching a class and the dancers kept looking out the window and I was like, what is going on? And it was so distracting to me because I was making sure, we were going through the warm up, but every now and then the dancers would like look out of the corner of their eye and I'm like, what are they looking at? So I stopped the music and I said, what's going on? Like, you all seem so distracted. What is it? And they said, Miss Amanda, look at the sunset. It is so beautiful. Look at the colors. And I was like, okay, wow. So we walked over to the window, we all looked out, and it was one of the most stunning sunsets. But in that moment, it also made me realize so much. Like, here's a beautiful moment that I don't even really get to see that moment that much because I'm usually in the studio at that time, and neither do the dancers. And so we just took that moment in and we just shared it. And what was more important to me in that moment? Was it, okay, everybody get back out in the center and do the rest of your warm up? Or was it experiencing that beauty? Because that is what living is all about, is just the beauty and the experience and seeing what is all around us. So reminding ourselves as we're going through this time that if there's any way that we can make each class and each moment special for our dancers, it's just going to help enrich their lives even further, and ours, because we're also getting the benefit of that. I know that when I have a exciting new lesson idea or an activity based around the season or whatnot, I'm so excited. And I even preface it sometimes with my high school dancers like, I know this might be cheesy, but I am so excited because we're going to do such and such today that is going to help us to celebrate and get ready for Halloween. And yeah, it gets a few laughs in the beginning, but then it's so much fun and we're getting the work done. So, as we head into October, think about how can you make this month special for you and special for your dancers. You've got a great setup started from your September, and now we're just going to keep flowing through and keep bringing in new, fresh ideas through this month of October here on Dance Teacher Pep Talk to help you bring new ideas into your space as well. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love it so much if you were able to share it with friends or colleagues so that we can get the message of Dance Teacher Pep Talk out there. And please connect with us also on Dance Teacher Pep Talk Instagram. I feel like this is going to be a beautiful month ahead, and I'm so excited for it. And I hope that you all have an incredible week. And thank you so much for listening.